Girl fell overboard on a Disney cruise. Let's talk.
All stories alleged. For gossip and entertainment only. Let's get started.
Oh, it's right there.
I think it's a kid and a
Yeah, it's a dad and a dog.
yeah.
Hello, everyone. So you saw that video there. Now, when you go on vacations, especially with kids, you're always supposed to keep your eyes on your children. Now, this father, his child, I think she's 5, fell from the 4th floor on a Disney cruise ship, and then he jumped in to save his daughter, as he should have done. Now, we don't know what's going on. We need to hear the story of how this child ended up in the ocean. So we're just going to read a quick article from TMZ, and let's just hear what some people are saying. So it says, a dad did what any panicked parent would do. He dove straight into the Atlantic after his young daughter fell off a Disney's cruise ship, and the wild rescue played out in real time via passengers' phones. Now, we always complain about people having phones, but, they're good. They're a good source of evidence, but it depends, As long as you're doing it for good and you're just not taking, ratchet videos and videos that is no help to anyone, and you're taking it just because, and you could post it on social media to get clicks and views and all that stuff, situation that just does not make any sense. This now does make sense, and it's good that we got to see what happened as far as the rescue. So, we got to shout out those staff members, or what do they call them? The crew on that Disney ship, to act very quickly. So it says it all went down around 11 a.m. Sunday, so yesterday, when a little girl about 5 years old fell overboard from the fourth deck of the $900 million Disney Dream as it cruised back to Fort Lauderdale from the Bahamas. And without missing a beat, her dad jumped in right after her. The two were left threading rough waters for a nerve-shattering 20 minutes, while shocked passengers could only watch from the rails as they drifted further out, becoming 2 tiny dots in the distance. Hold on. Oh, shoot. Oh. A blaring alert scattered the calm for all. Mr. Bob, Port said, code for man overboard, before the rescue mission went into operation. A rescue boat was dropped in and sped towards the pier, and you can see they both were eventually hauled to safety. The little girl looked pretty shaken as the rescue boat pulled up to the cruise ship, clearly rocked by the whole ordeal. It's still a mystery how the girl fell overboard, especially with plexiglass safety barriers in place. Now, she's 5 years old, so she's not that tall. And if they have those pixie glasses where you don't go through, then either the parents, they were not watching her and she climbed up and go over. But this is someone who made a comment. They said, it's not a mystery. I know people who were on the ship. The father put the daughter up on the railing to take a picture and she fell. This is entirely his fault, and I hope he catches a lifetime ban from Disney Cruise Line and faces child endangerment charges. So someone replied back to that comment and said, if it is true, I agree with you, but I hope you are not spreading disinformation. information, or probably she meant misinformation. And it's true. You know, parents, some parents, they don't think. They think they're gods, and, you know, if they're put their kids up on a ledge, you know, they're strong enough or nothing will happen to the child. But like they said, you know, pixie glass were there, so how did she go overboard? And why weren't you watching your child? Now, the fourth floor, I don't think they were in a cabin, right? Because cabins with, you know, the balcony and stuff like those are usually higher up. So it had to be one of those deck where it's, you know, a public deck where anyone can walk around it. And, you know, I would like to think not people were walking. I like to think they have cameras on board the ship, especially you know, on deck like those. I know they do have it for balconies, but it's not peering in to your balcony. If anything, it's peering at the side of the balcony, so if you do go over, they can see if you do go over your balcony. But as far as to see on the balcony itself, no, they don't have cameras like that. But they do have cameras facing forward where you can see at the side if anyone is leaning over their balcony, you know, in cabins like those. But like I said, this is the fourth floor, so that means he either put the child up like this person is saying, or there was a chair there and she stepped up on the chair not being watched and fell overboard. And she is lucky it's only from the fourth floor, because I can only imagine the force that she went down. And when you fall from a certain height, when you hit water or hit the ground, it's like glass. You're going to break. So right now we see there's a picture showing them where they seem like everyone is okay, everything is calm. But if the father did place his child on that balcony rail to take a picture, then he gets what's coming to him, which is child endangerment charges, and he should definitely be banned from the Disney cruise. Now, I would love to go on a Disney cruise myself, but they are expensive. So until I can save the money to go on a Disney cruise, I'm okay with my Royal Caribbean or my Norwegian. Carnival, that's another story. Well, whatever. But anyways, gossipers, what are your thoughts? Does it sound like the father might be in the wrong because she's 5 years old and there were pixie glasses? So this 5-year-old, she had to be standing on something to go overboard, or like they said, probably the father was taking pictures. Hopefully we'll know more, but thank God they're both okay. They look good. Of course she's shaking. That's expected.
I think it's
but yeah, please like, share, subscribe, and just tell me your thoughts on this story. Thank you.